So nowadays we learn in networks. No one has all the knowledge over their heads and they, okay, I know everything. No one's good because there's a lot of information and we have limited cognitive capacity. So now we want to be like assessing students on how the amount of knowledge they have on their head. This is so uh, this is so wrong. We need to assess them on how their capability to navigate through different networks instead of having the right information, and how to assess the information available on different networks and different communities and different social spaces.
There was a project that they started in Eritrea, and that was the first seawater farm. They took these principles of permaculture and took it to a desert coastal environment and tried to close all the loops. How do you take a salt solution, run it through natural filters, plants like Salicornia, filter it through mangroves, grow fish and other kinds of aquatic plants and animals to harvest and to feed people. Fast forward to, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, and I'm here at Michigan and I'm teaching, and I'm thinking, we need big projects. We need things that are really, really stretch projects, where students are not going to have the ability to make a lot of assumptions about what they know. I'm going to take them as far away from whatever is normal for them, whatever they can assume about anything. And so I was teaching a class called The Art of Entrepreneurship, and I decided that we were going to try to create a seawater farm. And so we had that kind of fun and engaging and interesting and rich learning experience. And then I went, I did other things because I wasn't teaching there for a while. And then I came back because students wanted me to come back, which I was, highly gratified about. And so last year, I was thinking, what can we do that's going to be really interesting again? And I thought, I want to see what happened with the Seawater Farm. And so the work was still going on. And I thought, wow, cool, let's do that again. In the meantime, I had been approached by the virtual initiative folks here at Michigan, and they said, we could do something with, people in Tunisia, and, we just need to, get all of the course outlines and the lectures and the quizzes and the deliverables and all that stuff in a row, and, then we could maybe do something. And I said, no. No, just no. I don't do that. That doesn't sound like it's any fun. It doesn't sound like it has the kind of challenges I want my students to face. So no.
And they tried to find me a partner in the entrepreneurship field because I teach entrepreneurship in Beja, in Tunisia. And yeah, they found Ken. At first he said, no, I don't want to make any virtual exchanges. And then, since he worked on the Seawater project and it was supposed to be in Tanzania, and he said, oh, okay, Tanzania is in Africa and Tunisia is in Africa too. So, okay, let's try these things with this Tunisian faculty.
I said, here's an opportunity to work with people very far away, which would be hard. And that's good because I like to do hard things and challenging. And you've never been to Tunisia. And so I said to my students, okay, here's the project. And basically that's all I said, And so if you were to go back and read what they said about this, and this will be in the papers that come out, stuff like that, they said, wow, what is that? Where do we start? What do we do? What is this lunatic getting us into now?
So like when Ken introduced our project for the semester with the seawater farming, what the heck is seawater farming? How are we going to do anything that's like useful in any way? Because obviously we're not like building it. We're not like going to the location, like filing these permits and like actually building it.
In the beginning, when Mrs. Nadia called me to join the Michigan students to find a solution for the water scarcity in Tunisia, I was lost in the beginning because this project is not in my studying field and I have no idea about this kind of projects.
But then he said we were working on a seawater farm, and everybody's confused because no one knows what a seawater farm is. Everyone's trying to look up what a seawater farm is. You can't find much information on one.
Everyone go home and research seawater farming and come back and tell me what you found out. That was basically how it was introduced. And then we took it from there.
Like the goal was to create like a blueprint of a seawater farm stationed in Tunisia, Knis, Tunisia, that would supply 5,000 people with fresh drinking water and food from the sea nearby.
We broke up into teams. We had like 5 or 6 different groups. There was the engineering group, the agriculture group, the finance group, the communications team, which managed like keeping everyone's like the materials that we created like together, and they made a website at the end to kind of show the work that everyone had done. And then the law, location, and culture group, I was a part of that group. We researched like the local laws. We were also like in close contact with Baha, our Tunisian teammate, and he went to the location and took pictures for us. That was like the biggest help for our team. Because there wasn't otherwise like that much that we could do, because all of the like resources we found in like the law were either in Arabic or French. And like we found this one like really detailed like document, but it was all a PDF, so we couldn't even like copy and paste into Google Translate. So we were like, okay, we're completely lost. So a lot of it was just like communicating with the Tunisians.
The students in Tunisia became invaluable to us. We had students who drove 200 miles to the spot that we were going to supposedly like build the seawater farm, and they interviewed like 80 people and then came back to us.
And our mission in the agricultural and environment team was to determine what crops, soil, and plants we are dealing with.
We're trying to look at the different diets that Tunisians already eat and implement like those kinds of foods within the farm. We're looking at different power sources that were environmentally friendly. So basically that group, we're focusing on trying to have as little negative environmental side effects as possible. And that would go for the land environment, sea environment, like air pollution, and then also like the people within the area.
At the end of the day, like it's not really about seawater farming to me. It's about just like the communication, the team working, and coming together to like build like one project together. I think that the most rewarding part of it was kind of the personal connections made. Like we became like close to our teams that we were a part of. I know like especially like some other people in our class, and like Lorenzo and Ehab became like close friends. Like all of those things that make it like a really rewarding experience, and seeing how something can come together from literally nothing.
Collaborating with people with different backgrounds and work with them was an experience, allowed me to live a dream, I make friends from the other side of the world, and we work together to solve one of the most critical problems in Tunisia. Making friends nowadays is maybe a difficult thing, because you need to choose the true friends. And when I work with Lorenzo, we understand each each other, you know, and we work it as one team. We do a great thing, and we like it to show the world that even with the different cultures or different tradition or different backgrounds, we can work together, understand each other, and try to fix or solve many problems that can help the society.
I made a friend. His name is Ehab, and like at first we just got on a video call just to talk about the project and stuff. We didn't think anything would come of it, and then we just started talking about each other's personal lives and like relating to one, and then like we became friends, and then it was like nice to see how he was doing and like stay in contact with him and stuff like that. And like we still stay in contact too, even like after the project is over. I think that was probably the most valuable part of the project, was being able to connect with people all the way across the world. I just want to like re-emphasize that this way of learning is very hands-on and way more valuable than any other class I think I've had. For the simple fact, I felt like I was learning something that I could like translate into the real life.
And I really want to create an environment that is complex enough and challenging enough and interesting enough and exciting enough where students find many, many ways to attach emotionally and intellectually to something that will actually help them grow as engaged human beings. That seems to me a really good use of the time and money spent at an institution of higher learning. You know, this whole class, this whole thing that I do is kind of a simulation, as close to reality as I can make it, which causes us to go break out of the classroom and do stuff in the world that can have an impact. And when I saw the potential, and I looked at what was being delivered to students, I was appalled, because the entire thrust of undergraduate education seemed to me to infantilize students. To say, here, you just sit here and we're gonna load stuff on you and then you spit it back to us. Basically nothing happens, except that you get frustrated. And I thought, I don't want to do that, you know? And I also know young people have an unbelievable level of untapped capacity. And we ignore that at our peril. We need everybody. And young people have energy, they have ideas, they have enthusiasm. When you
release, you know, their creativity and you free their imagination, they can do amazing things, ways better than us as teachers. But when you think thoroughly about it, you know, you see that this is the right thing to do. We don't need to imprison students and, you know, imprison them into structures and to guide them, because it won't free their imagination. And before, teacher, they were the only source of knowledge. You have the teacher and the book, and you are isolated with them, and you consume knowledge. Now it's a different things. Now we work in networks, and teacher is no more the only source of knowledge for students. They can learn from formal and informal sources. They are interacting on internet, on social media, and they are learning a lot. So teachers are no more the only source. But now we are living in a digital world, and it has its own characteristics, and it involves a lot of things for the teachers and for the pedagogy and the learning process that students need to go through.